watching WBBZ-TV, your hometown Me TV station, Springville, Buffalo.
Hi, I'm Phil Arno from WBBZ-TV. Our mission has been to bring you not just classic TV, but good local programming that's interesting, informative, and hopefully fun. In keeping with that mission, I hope you'll stay tuned now for our newest show. Coming to you live from Eastern Hills, I'm proud now to bring you the debut of Daily Buzz 716.
Everybody, and welcome to the first ever edition of the Daily Buzz 716. We are so excited to be here. I am Penny Wolfgang. We are looking forward to being with you every day. This is the first ever of this type of show, and we have been preparing this for a long time, and we are really, really looking forward to you watching us every single day and becoming a habit. We are going to try to inform you and entertain you and get you thinking about all sorts of things going on in the nation, the world, and of course in Western New York. Now, each of us are going to take a moment to introduce ourselves. I'm going to introduce the panel. I guess I'll start with myself, but you probably know who I am already, but I am Penny Wolfgang. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I am Judge Judy look-alike, or sound-alike, or a wishful Judge Judy, Western New York's version, a poor person's version. But we're not going to be only talking on the program about law and legal issues. I know things about other issues as well, because I've lived here for many, many years and been active in the community. So let me introduce our other panelists, and they can tell you a little bit about themselves. And we're going to start with, on my left with Mercedes Wilson.
Thank you, thank you. I'm Mercedes Wilson. I actually moved to Buffalo a couple of years ago, born and raised, or I was born in Medina, raised in Lockport, so I'm a country girl at heart. But moved to Buffalo, and I'm excited for what Buffalo is doing. I'm excited for what's going on, and actually started a nonprofit organization called For Our Daughters about 5 years ago after my battle with breast cancer. So I'm very passionate about women's health and the things that are going on, and there's some great things going on in Buffalo, so I'm really looking forward to what we have going on here.
Hello, Mary Kate O'Connell, who everybody knows
well,
also.
Hello, Penny Wolfgang. I can't say I'm Judge Judy because you already took my line.
Sorry.
I'm Mary Kate O'Connell. I'm the Executive Artistic Director of O'Connell & Company, which is a theater company in Buffalo. We are celebrating our 22nd season this year. Our benchmark is our show, Diva by Diva Celebration of Women, which celebrates the images and words and quotes by, for, and about women. We do a lot of community outreach. And again, much like Mercedes, we do reach out to our younger demographic and hopefully empowering. And we're in residence at the Park School of Buffalo. We're thrilled to be there. And thrilled to be celebrating our 17th birthday of Diva by Diva on March 8th. On March 8th, which happens to be International Women's Day. So it's great when a whole plan comes together. The synchronicity of the power of the sisterhood is pretty amazing.
And you should tell them you never know who's going to show up. Sometimes even the people on the panel, she makes us go.
I do. I'm okay with that. I bully them into coming. But Diva by Diva really is. It's really it's every woman. You can relate to every single person in the show, right?
Okay, there is the beautiful, talented, famous actress Kim Piazza.
Wow, Judge, what a great intro.
Did you good? Did I say what you told me?
I'll pay you after the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyhow, hi, I'm Kim Piazza, and I was raised in Jamestown, New York, so I'm from Jamestown. Hey, Jamestown, holler out to Jamestown, New York. And I came to Buffalo to go to UB, and of course, fell in love with Buffalo. And I've been in the entertainment world since I was 12 years old. I started in live theater, and I've been blessed enough to have been able to perform in all kinds of different aspects on stage, on television here at WBBZ. I've done a number of films, and I'm on a number of live soundtracks to musicals. So I've had a lot of fun with the community theater here in Buffalo for years and years and years, and just so looking forward to sitting at the table with these ladies and just hashing out every little thing, especially you, Mary Kate. I got my eye on you, lady.
I know.
She's got a lot of opinion, and she's got a lot of opinions.
It's true. It's true. I'm
Some of which we
opinionated.
can't air.
Oh,
Okay. Mary, we're going to talk to Mary Arno.
Hi, I'm Mary Arno. I'm a journalist. My career is as a journalist. I worked for many years at many newspapers, some of which are still in existence. I worked for the Orlando Sentinel, the New Orleans Times-Picayune. My last job in daily journalism was at the LA Times, and I covered many, many different things. I was an editor, reporter, bureau chief, op-ed editor, political conventions. Though I did most of my heavy lifting in New Orleans, which is where I'm from, I got most of the journalist stuff you brag about, the Pulitzer stuff. Team Pulitzer, not individual, team Pulitzers, but that was all in LA for an earthquake and a riot. So about, 15 years ago, as our children were getting older, my husband and I decided we would rather bring them up in a small town, or smaller than LA anyway, and he's from Buffalo. We chose Buffalo, and I am so happy we did. My main interest is the news, so because that's what I've done. I also wrote a book since we've been back here, since I stopped working for a daily newspaper, and I'm not supposed to say, my publisher says you can't say my book. I'm supposed to say, I wrote Thanksgiving, so that's the title of it, Thanksgiving. There you go, Mr. Kohler, I did it right.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Adriana, you're on.
Right. Well, my name is Adriana Viverette Gamble. I am a proud resident of the city of Buffalo, born and raised here, of course, and I am a radio personality on our local station, WBOK, in addition in Albany, Rochester, and have had my fair share on air at Sirius XM. So I am here to talk from an entertainment standpoint, especially the community, extremely into the community, and what I love most is working with our youth and making sure that our millennial voice is heard. So I'm excited to be here and to really make sure that we keep Kim under control, you know, because she's the troublemaker in this place. No.
We already pointed that out already.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, Adriana.
All right, we have to, last but not least, with that trite saying, but it's totally true, is the very one and only, and everyone I think probably knows Connie Caldwell, but we'll let you
Hi, thank you, Judge.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Constance Caldwell, also known as Connie, and I was a bartender for 15 years, and then I was a public relations director at Studio Arena Theater, and then I ran TAB for a while, which is Theater Alliance of Buffalo, so I have a huge theater background. I've been intermittently on stage for the last 30 years. I am currently very proud to say that I am the communications director at the Buffalo History Museum, and I hope to share a lot of Western New York history and great anniversaries on this show. And if I could so plug myself, I'm in an upcoming show with O'Connell and Company that opens in April. So there you have it in a nutshell. You are so welcome.
No,
Thank
you've got
you.
1 minute to plug Giants of Buffalo.
Oh, I have time? Well, now that you've mentioned it.
Spoiler alert.
Who's in Giants of the
I was going to save that and tell
you
our
are.
next guest all about it, but
okay,
I
all
will
right.
say that we will be honoring some giant, well, you really don't want to call women giant, but
No, I was gonna
powerful,
say-
influential women of law in our next Giants of Buffalo series. That's something that happens every spring, and it is the one and only Judge Penny Wolfgang, as well as Barbara Howe and Judge Michael.
And you swear you were not being sarcastic by calling me a giant.
Is there something
Is
going
she
on?
trying to call me a giant? Okay. Well, we're going to have guests, special guests, every day on our program that you, I know, are going to be watching every day. And so this, for our very first inaugural program, we went right to the top with one of the most important, influential people here in Western New York. We're not going to make you guess. who it is. It is the Mayor, Byron Brown, and he is going to be on with us shortly. So don't go anywhere. That's an order.
There we go.
Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. Recently, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown announced that he will be running for what would be a 4th term. Let's take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to stand before you today and ask for your support as I run for mayor of the great city of Buffalo for a 4th time. Just a few days ago, when I delivered my State of the City address, I talked about how blessed I am. Blessed because I live in the city of Buffalo and I love our great city of good neighbors. And I am so blessed to have the support of a wonderful people that has made every day in this job a special one. You have given me an opportunity to serve as your mayor, and for that, I am eternally grateful.
While the city is experiencing a renaissance downtown, in the medical corridor, on the waterfront, with businesses coming into the city, and many neighborhoods thriving, of course, there's still much to be done in combating crime, in working through different issues with the Buffalo School Board that we're all so much aware of, and of course growing the economy. So we welcome Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown to our first show, and we're going to be talking about some of those issues. But first, ladies, I just want to discuss this with you. It has been on my bucket list my whole life to have a day named after me. Because you know how when you go,
I do.
So when you know, I've been to so many events where
Absolutely.
there's been a day named after a visiting author or some community leader.
This is really why we brought the mayor onto the show.
No, Kim, this really happened. So in June, the mayor was so kind, and he came, it was June 3rd, I'll never forget it, to a ceremony, and he said, June 3rd is, and he said really nice things about me. We've known each other, public figure officials a long time. He sort of lied, but he said, a lot of good things. And then he said, this is your day, June 3rd. Now, let me ask you this. Wouldn't you think that every June 3rd from now to eternity would be Penny Wolfgang Day?
Yes.
But it turns out, no. It's just the one day.
Do
you think that's
read the fine print,
You
because
think that's fair?
when I got September 16th proclaimed as Mary Kate O'Connell Day, they did not have the year on the certificate, so I had to send it back. So I said, I'm good with this.
Because then it's
Kate Masiello took it from me and said,
So could you think about this?
I don't have a day.
I'm good. I want to apologize. I didn't know they were going to set you up like this.
Well, one of the great things about being mayor, one of the powers that you have is to proclaim days in honor of wonderful people in the community.
There you go.
And Judge, I will tell you that day can be celebrated every year.
Can? Okay.
Every day of the year, Judge.
I'm in with that too,
It should be
Penny.
celebrated by you.
Oh, by me. Oh, big deal. Oh, okay.
I'm having a little cocktail party on September 16th at the Theater Stars, the little area of the Stars downtown. So
Oh, yeah,
we're there,
Mary
right?
Kate has the
That's
star.
right.
Yeah.
So we're there.
So funny.
We're there.
So now we heard your announcement, and by the way, we have offered, as required by law, equal time to anybody else, any other candidate that might be running against the mayor. But now we heard your announcement, and we're saying it's going to be your 4th term. What do you want to? What's your plan? What do you want to accomplish that you haven't already accomplished? I named many of these accomplishments already, and we're going to talk about that. But what do you have in mind?
You know, we've been fortunate to be able to have accomplished a lot of things, cutting the tax rate in the city of Buffalo for all residents, being able to reduce the crime rate, seeing record economic development, jobs being created in our community. We really want to focus on continuing the progress that we're seeing in the city of Buffalo and making sure that that progress reaches every single section of our city, every single neighborhood, and every single family.
Can I ask you a question, Mayor? You're right, there's been some great stuff going on downtown, particularly in the theater community, right? We love the renaissance that's happening in Buffalo. But along with that renaissance, we're seeing, I'm gonna go over some statistics here, and these are things that have happened while you've been in office now. And so, you know, this is some of the stuff you're facing, that the opioid problem, opioid deaths are up. In 2014, 128 people. In 2015, 256 people. In 2016, 357 people. And I don't know how accurate this is, but the Buffalo News had written that in 2016, homicides were up by 68%. Wow, what are we going to do, sir?
Well, it's two different things, two different questions, right?
Yeah.
But talk about the opioid problem. It's not just in Western New York, though, obviously. It's not just in Buffalo.
It's not just in Buffalo.
So what are your thoughts?
But Buffalo's what our mayor is focused on.
Right, so the opioid problem is a problem for Buffalo, Western New York, and unfortunately communities all across this nation. We are collaborating with county government. Our county executive, Mark Polenkars, has been a real great leader on this issue. He is part of a national task force on reducing the opioid problem. We have opened prescription drop boxes in all of our district police stations.
Tell us exactly what that means.
So we want to give families the ability to get unused, unneeded drugs out of their homes and safely disposed of. So we have these drop-off boxes at every district police station in the city of Buffalo. Buffalo was also the first municipality in the region to have its police and firefighters begin to use Narcan, which is an overdose reversal medication. And we have literally saved hundreds of lives in the city of Buffalo with our police officers and firefighters being able to use that life-saving
medication. They were specially trained, right? They had special training for them.
Yes, they did.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge step.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Crime overall, you know, we have been very aggressively focused on reducing crime. We think any one violent crime is one too many. Any homicide is one homicide too many. So we have added to the ranks of our police department. We've installed surveillance cameras throughout the city of Buffalo to aid in being able to detect and prevent crime. We have seen overall crime drop in the city of Buffalo. So violent crime is actually at its lowest recorded level since crime has been recorded in the way that it's monitored now. But that's not good enough for us. So we are constantly looking to work with the community to build police-community relations so that we can get information from the members of the community that enable our police officers to be more effective and more successful in solving crimes that occur.
I think whatever you've done with the police, with dealing with the community and the interaction has been really terrific and a remarkable situation, because I think desperate times cause people to do desperate things that are maybe not really something that they would do had anything been more promising. And personally, I think you're doing a lot that's giving people promise. I mean, we have a lot of crime. We have a lot of crime, but compared to other cities.
Oh, absolutely. But one of the issues that people always bring up is the fact that the crime is pretty much concentrated, or a lot of it is concentrated on just one particular or maybe two areas of the community. And I think that's where you're going to probably be able to tell us a little bit about what's been doing or what you've been doing and about those areas and about working with them. But we have to take a brief break, and when we come back, we have so many more issues and questions for the mayor. So don't go anywhere, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We are going to continue our discussion with Mayor Byron Brown. We have lots more to talk about the state of our city. Mercedes wanted to talk to you about something.
Yeah, so tensions around the country between the police and the public are at an all-time high, but Buffalo has been able to avoid that to a large extent. What do you attribute that to? What do you say?
There are a number of things that we're doing here. We open all of our district police stations. We have 5 district police stations monthly for citizens to come in, meet with police officers, to report crime issues that they're concerned about, to report policing incidents that they might be concerned about, and basically just to talk to police officers about how they're feeling, how they're feeling about their neighborhoods, and what they'd like police officers to do to help make neighborhoods safer. We also initiated over a year ago a unique police scholarship recruitment program that's designed to recruit the diverse police officers that actually reflect the demographics of the community. So one of the things that we're hearing across the country is that citizens want the police departments to look like them. They want the departments to be diverse. They want the departments to look like the residents of the community. And our program, BPD 21C, is a first of its kind in the nation police scholarship recruitment program that actually scholarships members of the community to be able to go through the police academy and be prepared for careers in law enforcement.
That's huge, huge. Smart. You know, recently, very recently, Travel and Leisure magazine had the top 10 cities to visit that are sort of hidden away. Buffalo's #1.
Well, of course.
I mean, Buffalo's #1. It was really wonderful. It was a nice list, and the bottom line is, of course, they had to take one hit about. They still have some explaining to do about their weather, but the thing is that Buffalo has that, and a large amount of that is to the credit of the police and the fire and the people who are there to support the community because they are the community.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them make Buffalo feel like it's your hometown. It is, you know.
We want our residents, businesses, and visitors to feel safe in the city of Buffalo. Our police officers and firefighters do a great job of that. And it is really exciting to see all of the national publicity that the city of Buffalo is getting from across the country. Buffalo once was a very well-kept secret. We're not a secret anymore. The nation and the world are seeing the wonderful things that are happening in Buffalo. And my job as mayor is to be strategic in pushing progress forward and collaborating with others every single day to help our great city reach its potential.
Smart business.
Yeah. Well, people are always saying, in the old days, they used to say, I'm afraid to go downtown. You know, there's people living in the suburbs. Oh, I'm afraid to go downtown. I would love to go to Shays because to see the show, but I'm afraid of the crime. And I think really you and the administration and other factors have really changed that perspective in the last couple of years.
Downtown is just so inviting now.
Yeah.
It is so inviting. Now, if we could do something about those parking tickets, Mayor.
Well, you know, downtown.
We planned on putting you on.
I brought some. I
planned on putting you on the spot on something, right?
Downtown is booming, and we do tell our folks that write tickets to be very smart about that, not to go overboard, to give people a little grace period. You know, when the meter expires, it doesn't always happen. We also encourage people to park legally.
It would be better.
I didn't get that memo.
But, you know,
Oh, no,
but the
now you tell us.
Yeah, but you know, the exciting thing is that
Mercedes.
downtown continues to grow.
Yep.
You know, businesses continue to invest, and there are so many people coming to downtown Buffalo now.
What's the grace period you told them?
Oh,
The
before they
what?
write the ticket?
Yeah.
He's going to write this down. But he can't say that over the air.
I just want the
listen,
grace
woman.
for me?
Can we talk about
gonna be
the
so sorry.
graduation rate in the city schools is going up.
Oh, yeah.
It's so encouraging.
Yeah, we'll
It's-
talk about education.
Yes.
Now you want to
Are
talk about
graduates
education.
staying here?
And the YES program.
Say yes, Buffalo. So the graduation rates are going up. As mayor, I do not manage the Buffalo Board of Education, but I try to assist.
Disclaimer,
in every way that I
disclaimer.
can. Pardon me?
Disclaimer by the mayor.
People need to understand that the mayor does not manage the Board of Education in the city of Buffalo. But we do support Say Yes to Education, which is a unique scholarship program that provides a college scholarship to every child that graduates from a Buffalo public or charter school, and also provides academic support so young people can get to the point where they do graduate from high school and can qualify to go on to college. So our goal is to provide assistance in preparing our young people for college and career. We also are spending record amounts of money now in providing summer employment opportunities for our young people so that they are prepared for the jobs of the future, so that they have work experience. Another thing that I have done for a very long period of time is I sponsor a summer reading program every year to encourage our young people, not just in the city of Buffalo, but across the region, to read and to understand the importance of reading, and to know that in the summer months, if they keep their academic skills sharp, they can go back to school in the fall, do very well, and achieve the things in school that they need to achieve and that they want to achieve.
I think that Say Yes program is just phenomenal because it gives these young people a reason to graduate. You know, they're gonna graduate and still have that next step is attainable. That step of going to college is within their reach. I just think that's such a great program.
It is a great program. In the last 2 years, my administration, working with the City Council, has provided Bach tablets to 500 graduating seniors for the last 2 years, something that we're very excited about and very proud of, making sure that we're bridging the digital divide and making sure that our young people have technology to go on to college with.
The caring for the community is so transparent with your under your leadership, really, it is. I have a question though.
Yes.
You are a very high profile, very likable guy as you are, and it's a huge job that you have. If you could choose one thing that you have accomplished that you want to be remembered for.
Wait, you can't answer it.
Oh.
Think about your answer. You can see I'm the judge here. Think about your answer, and we'll get it during the next segment because we do have to take a break. And at this point, we want to thank our panelists, Mercedes and Mary Kate and Kim, because we're going to introduce some other ladies that have a few questions for the mayor and want to join our conversation.
Connie's gonna
So
get that
don't
answer
go
from you.
anywhere.
Okay,
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Daily Buzz 716. We're going to continue our conversation and discussion with more ladies from the Daily Buzz 716 team, who you met at the beginning, but we're going to introduce you to them again. Adriana, Mary, and Constance. And the mayor. Oh yes, here you are. You're still here. Okay.
Still here.
So we got to answer Mary Kate's question.
Yeah.
So I think what I would like to be remembered for is being the mayor that transformed physically just about every area of the city of Buffalo. So not only just transforming the waterfront, downtown, the medical campus, but transforming neighborhoods throughout the city, east, west, north, and south. And I'm so excited that under my watch as mayor, so many new buildings have been added to the landscape, so many buildings have been renovated, and part of my vision for the future is continuing that building, that growing, continuing to strengthen neighborhoods so people in every section of our city have more jobs, have more opportunity, and are doing even better.
Now, I have a question. Could you speak about transforming not just, physically the city, but I can say that you have transformed people as well. As we talk back and you mentioned in the first segment with Mayor Summer Youth, you have had opportunities over 17,000 youth. Now, I have been a recipient of the Mayor Summer Youth program and constantly making sure that I was a part of it. But I want to talk about the summertime. We have so many different opportunities for the summer. And I know there are some opportunities in the fall, but what can we do to really heighten those numbers and ensure that those students are also given those opportunities in the fall as well?
So fortunately, we have been blessed to have a great relationship with the City Council. And so on the city side of things, we keep increasing the budget for summer youth employment. So for the last few years, we have spent the most money in the history of the city of Buffalo in putting our young people to work in the summer. This year, my proposal is to increase summer employment opportunities for youth that are paid for by the city by 150 jobs. And the council so far has been very receptive to that. They have been great partners in working with the city council. We've done a lot for our young people, but our ultimate goal is to see full employment for young people, at least in the summertime in the city of Buffalo, and that would be several thousand jobs. We have been working closely with the Buffalo-Niagara Partnership, the Chamber of Commerce for Buffalo and Erie County, and they have been very supportive, also working with Say Yes and the city in creating more employment opportunities for young people to be able to go to work, to be able to develop their professional skills and be prepared for the future.
Say Yes program is a wonderful program, and the Buffalo History Museum is going to do a deep dive into that too this year, so we need to talk after that.
Absolutely.
You know, another thing that you mentioned about preserving the architecture and all the good things that have happened to all these neighborhoods. I think what came with that is this amazing film industry now, because they see the beautiful architecture, the City Hall in Marshall, for example, which the economic impact, I believe, was $8 million in the community. Can we expect to see more of that?
Well, actually, the economic impact is really rising. Last year, the economic impact of film in the city of Buffalo was over $21 million. And you are absolutely right, Connie, when you talk about preservation. The director of Marshall, Reginald Hudlin, said one of the things that attracted that movie to Buffalo and that filmmaking team to Buffalo was our architecture, because they were doing a period movie. It was shot in the 1940s, and we had so many buildings that could pass for that period.
And the Buffalo History Museum has been a star in many of them.
Yeah, the Buffalo History Museum has definitely been a star in that, and that really helped us to bring that movie that by itself had nearly a $5 million economic impact on Buffalo.
So with the tax incentive and the creative class,
incentive, exactly. I was just going to say.
Well, the wealth of what I call the creative class in Buffalo, the designers, the actors, the vibrant theater community, it just seems like it's such a natural. And I personally, among all us theater people, we hope to see that grow in leaps and bounds. And I know you have a special interest in that.
I do, I really do. Great arts and culture in this community. It is growing. It is being supported by people throughout the city and the region. And one of the things that we know is that arts and culture equal economic development.
Absolutely.
There are literally hundreds of people that are working in that arena in Buffalo and Western New York.
It's very exciting. It's always exciting to have a movie in town.
I want to ask the mayor a question about one of his other hats. But before I do that, I'm going to stick with your mayor hat. Now, you talked about your Judge Penny Day. You talked about your Mary Kate O'Connell.
Yes.
How about a Daily Buzz 716 day?
Oh, wait.
You know, that would,
I'm up for that.
that could be
That's
very,
get you on the record on that?
that could be very possible.
Yeah,
A Daily
we need that.
Buzz 716
There
day,
you go.
because I know that you all are going to be doing great things for the city and region, and that's why we award days to people that are doing great things for the city and for the region.
Yeah, we
On the
paid,
record.
we paid him to say that, but we'll talk about it later. You know,
We didn't put you on the spot, did we?
No, that wasn't bad at all.
What I wanted to ask was about your job as the state Democratic Party chair. Now, one of the this. No?
I was going to ask, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Well,
I was going to ask a fun question, but go ahead.
You can
No,
have fun later.
we'll get
Oh,
to
well,
it.
fun
We'll
is
get
always
to
there,
it.
okay. I know that's state, that's not national, but still, you're a player on the national Democratic scene. And one of the platforms in the national Democratic, one of the planks in the platform this time was about people getting along, we should all do that. Now, you tell me what you would say to your fellow Democrats about Stephen Colbert doing a piece making fun of a politician's wife, who has not been in the spotlight really, a Saturday Night Live writer. Well, she did get a lot of pushback for doing the piece about the president's son. What would you say to your fellow Democrats about that?
I think that wives, children, family members should be off limits at all times.
And I think that's
that
across
should
the
never
board for
happen.
most
Yeah,
people.
but no, but there was, okay, I know
You're not
these are
kidding.
comedy writers, they're not politicians. However, I didn't see any of the politicians coming out and except, well, more in the case of the Saturday Night Live writer. But the Colbert thing with Christine Baranski just kind of flew under the radar and nobody seemed to say anything. And I thought that one, frankly, was more reprehensible than the child one.
You know, politics in our nation today is moving in a direction of being more and more mean-spirited, and we have to move things back away from that. I think for our nation to grow and be strong, we really have to show our love for each other. We really have to act like we are one people, one city, one state, one nation. So I think that mean-spiritedness that you are mentioning, there's no place for that in our political conversation.
Are we allowed to blame the media for that? It is.
Well, it didn't start recently. It's been going on.
It's been going on forever.
Right, it has been, but I think it's
my
gotten worse
recall.
recently.
It has.
Yeah, it has,
It has.
absolutely.
It seems to have gotten worse lately. That's why people
Well, it always seems to get worse
I was
for.
thinking of all the different times in my life when people said, why don't you run for this, why don't you run for that, you know, when we've been together. And I said, I'm not doing that. They'll be writing about my daughter, they'll be writing about, you know, my family.
well-
They'll be looking at my grades from high school.
When you say lately, I hope you're talking about the last, I don't know, 20 years and not the last 2 months.
I'll talk to you later, Connie.
Okay.
We're going to break. When we come back,
Oh, man.
we're going to continue our
I have
conversation.
a fun question.
When we come back.
Okay.
Thanks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, hi everybody. We are back talking to Mayor Byron Brown. We have so many questions for him. We don't even have time to cover everything, and all of us want to say something.
Right.
Did we leave a question that we didn't get to answer last time, Connie?
I know you
I had a
have
fun question. Well, maybe it won't be fun for you, Mayor Brown, but you know, you're such a perfect guy. You're always impeccably dressed.
He knows everybody's name.
You know people's names, and you're funny and all that. But I'd like to know, and I think most of our viewers want to know, what do you do in your downtime? You always seem to be out there in the world.
So in my downtime, I like to spend time with my family, with my wife, Michelle, my son, Byron. I like to watch WBBZ.
That was good.
One of my favorite shows growing up is now on WBBZ.
What's that?
Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Oh,
so
my
I am so excited that show has been brought back by this great station.
All right, can I ask you, and then we'll get back to the other burning questions, but can I ask you one guilty pleasure that nobody knows about? So you heard it first here on WBBZ-TV.
Yes, you can, and I think people do know about this. I talked about it before, And the last time I talked about it on TV, I got dozens of boxes of my favorite guilty pleasure food, which is Hostess cupcakes. I have been eating those ever since I was a kid.
Do you peel the top off and then suck the cream out, or do you just bite into it?
I just bite into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's different methods of eating those.
I forget who told us we were doing some diet program once, and we were saying all the healthy foods that you're supposed to eat, and I think it was my friend Sandy Beach, and he says to the guy, "You mean you can't eat Twinkies or Hostesses? Hostess cupcakes?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I don't think that's included, no." More like seriously, talk a little bit about the fact that there's no way, we talked about you being a candidate, a Democratic candidate, that a Republican has never in the history of the world, I guess, I'm exaggerating,
in Buffalo,
been elected in Buffalo or in any urban areas, not just Buffalo, but you know, New York City,
in New York State,
Chicago, in the whole country, I think, wherever there's urban areas. Why? Why do you think that is?
Well, in Buffalo, the last Republican mayor was in the mid-60s, and the enrollment of people into the Democratic Party in Buffalo and a lot of urban areas exceeds other parties. And as the state Democratic Party chair, I would like to think that the Democratic Party is the party of the people. It's closest to the people, it listens to the needs of the people, and tries to respond to the diversity of our communities and our country. We have a very diverse country, and I think parties that understand that and reach out on a variety of different issues to people are parties that are more successful in bringing people into a bigger tent.
But is that good? Because people always say, well, what about the two-party system, and there's no checks and balances, and if you know that if you're running for like a city office and you're a Democrat, you're automatically going to get elected. But is there a problem?
Well, I think having multiple parties is a good thing. I think having people debate issues is a good thing. We just saw a period where now at the Democratic Party level, many of the state houses are in Republican hands. The House of Representatives is in Republican hands. The U.S. Senate is in Republican hands. The presidency is in Republican hands. So what the Democratic Party needs to do is really go back into the neighborhoods, go back into the grassroots of the country and talk to people about what it stands for. But I think more than just the individual parties, I think we have to work together as Americans. And I think it's critically important to put country first, community first over party.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you backed the man who was the Buffalonian, who was elected as National Democratic Chair.
I did.
So are you telling him these things? And where do you think the Democratic Party is going now after, are you going after the Bernie Sanders vote, or he was kind of the more mainstream?
Shout out to Perez from Buffalo.
Tom Perez, Canisius High School. Very pleased that the New York State Democratic Committee supported him in Atlanta during the Democratic National Committee voting. We also got three other New Yorkers elected to the National Party leadership, which is very exciting for our state.
And we have Dr. Perez right here in Buffalo, too. I got to interrupt because we're out of time for this segment, but we will be back with some final thoughts, so stick with us, okay? Okay, welcome back to our very last segment. We have all the ladies gathered to say goodbye to you and to remind you that we want you to watch us every single day at this time. That is an order.
Judge, you can do that.
You knew I was going to say that. So I'm also supposed to tell you this. Remember to like, you probably all know what that means, WBBZ-TV, but me, on Facebook, and join the conversation on WBBZ on Twitter. But don't write to me. I'm not writing you back on Twitter. And we are going to. Do you want to say? You want to introduce?
Well,
Rosie?
yeah. A few people have been writing in and wondering who this little girl is. She is Rosie, my wonderful little toy poodle, who's a rescue from the SPCA, and she is also a service dog and. Pretty much, we don't use the DOG.
We thank you so much all for joining us. We thank the mayor of Buffalo for being our first honored guest. Honored, got that? We were honored.
Thank you.
We were honored to have you. And also, we want to remind you that you can watch us again at 10:30 tonight on WBBZ in case you want to see it again or in case anybody missed it. And we are going to look for you tomorrow. We thank you so much for joining us. We hope you love our program, and we'll see you again. Thank you.